What's up, guys? So today I'm just gonna talk to you guys about the differences between leather boots or soccer cleats, knitted ones, and synthetic, and just some of the pros and cons. And just because I've seen a bunch of comments on like other soccer related or boot review channels that like are asking what the differences are, and this is all pretty much just all my personal experiences with them. So for the very first category, I guess I'm just gonna start off with leather. So these two boots right here, the 11 Pro 3 and the Puma King evoPower, those are full kangaroo leather uppers. A lot of other cleats come with like a Taurus leather or a catskin leather upper, but for the top end ones, it's usually kangaroo leather. And the pros for that is that they're pretty much soft right out of the box. This one's been worn in, as you guys can see. Pro for that is that it molds in after a long time, so they pretty much just get better and better over time. So like this one, I haven't worn this in a game yet, and you can already see how soft the leather is on here. And that's the other thing too, is that it, like I said, it molds to your foot, and it provides a decent amount of protection. Definitely better than a knitted or synthetic leather, a regular synthetic shoe. But yeah, that is one of the great things about leather boots. They do have a few cons, and it is durability. If you don't take care of them, then they kind of just fall apart because it's a natural upper. So you kind of have to treat it with leather food or just regularly cleaning, because if you don't, they dry and then they start separating from the sole plate, like a lot of times, like right there. Thankfully, I've kept these in good shape, so I'm not dealing with any of that yet, as you can see. But yeah, that's that's another thing that I said, is that you have to literally take care of these regularly. So at least, once a month, treat it or clean it off. But you definitely need the treatment after a while. And the other thing too is water retention. If you're playing outdoor and it's muddy or it's raining, the boots just get heavier just because, like I said, it's natural. So the water pretty much just stays on the boot until it dries out. So if that ever happens, just gonna stick a newspaper in after your game or after your practice or whatever. But yeah, that's the other con for this. And again, I'll show you guys like a list of pros and cons right at the end, or maybe throughout this video. And the other thing that I like about leather boots that a lot of people may not, so this is like kind of a neutral thing, it's not a pro or a con, is if you like a padded feel, usually you'll get that with a leather boot. If you don't like that, go for something else. Alright, and then next I'm going to talk about knitted boots. So this is the Magista X Proximo, this turf variation, and this is pretty much just the Obra but on turf. And this is the Messy 16.1 with the agility knit upper, which is mesh based and knitted based. And the pros for knit shoes are the materials are really thin, as you can see. You'll have that like really nice touch on the ball. You can feel the ball. There's a dampened like effect when you're like touching the ball. So instead of like a padded one with the leather boots, it's more dampened and like cushioned onto there. You do also have the sock-like comfort for the boots. So it's pretty much just like putting on an extra layer of socks or another pair of socks onto that. So it's really comfortable. It really molds to your foot, kind of like the leather ones, not as well, just because knit is still kind of a synthetic material, but leather does mold to your foot perfectly. While this, it will mold to your foot and it will get softer, but it will just pretty much just stay the way you bought them. A con for these kind of boots though are the cleaning. If you ever like get dirt in between like the knits or the seams or anything like that, it's really hard to get out, and I would not recommend washing them because that kind of like takes away from the life of the shoes. So you're gonna have to be like really careful when it comes to cleaning. Another thing is there's really like no protection, like so this one, if you like get cleated like right on the top, you're gonna feel it like no matter what. On the leather one you'll feel it, but not as much. This one you're probably literally gonna feel the person's cleat. And another thing is the durability. So like the leather ones, leather ones separate usually right here at the sole, like with the sole plate. But the thing is with knitted shoes is you can get a bunch of like rips or like the polyurethane covering on both of these can like fall apart, and then you can see the exposed knitted material, and then that can just pretty much fray away and rip. So instead of it being not durable with these around the sole plate, they're just not durable pretty much around the upper where the knit is exposed. And another thing too is, just like the leather ones, pretty much a short breaking period because the materials are so soft and pretty flexible too. So the breaking period pretty fast, it will take you a couple games and then you're good to go, which is a con for synthetic boots, which I will get to right now. So as you guys can see, I have 5 different kinds of synthetic boots right here. These two are really thin. This is kind of in between thin and padded, and then these two are padded. So I just want to show you guys like the difference between synthetic, because they can range from any of that. Now, that's not to say knitted and leather don't, but usually knitted and leather stick with what they are. So leather is usually padded, you have that feel on the ball, and then knit is usually thin. But with synthetic, you can get either or. So I'll start with this one, and this is the Magista Opus One. This is pretty much one of the lighter shoes and thinner shoes on the market, or at the time it was on the market like that. Mesh under and then synthetic on top. As you guys can see, it's like exposed a little bit. This is really thin, but also pretty comfortable. Short breaking period with the thinner ones, but you will get like pinch points when you're like stepping, as you guys can see, because it doesn't really mold to your foot like a knitted or leather material. They can have better foot protection depending on the shoe that you get. So obviously these two won't really. This one's kind of like in the middle. Then these two will be better for protection. But for a thinner synthetic, you're not really going to get that much protection. And another thing too with synthetic is that very light on your shoe, on your feet. They can be heavier on your feet, like this one. This one's probably the heaviest one here. But overall, these are super easy to clean. All the synthetics are. You're going to get a nice touch on the ball if they're the thinner materials. So the Vapor is one of the thinnest materials out there. The pro for this is that you're not really going to retain water like the knit or leather. It's going to pretty much just slide off like other synthetic. This is a pair of Predator LZ2 SLs. The reason why you guys can't see color on them is because I just pretty much blacked out the color. But you can see where I kind of messed up. Yeah, you can still see the paint from there and then right there. This is kind of in between. Pretty much has that F50 Sprint skin, which is very, very thin if you guys remember the F50 from 2014 and before. And then it does have the Predator lethal zones right there. So it's like padded right around these areas, the lethal zone areas. But when it comes to here, you're pretty much just exposed on thin material. So that's why I said this is kind of in between. One of my favorite boots to wear just because it is kind of the in-betweener between like all these shoes. It's not knitted, it's synthetic. Like I said, these are all synthetic. Yeah, this is the in-between. For a more padded touch, this is a leather-like synthetic. It's not leather. This is the Messy 15.1. I uncaged them if you guys remember that video, and if you haven't, it's still on my channel. But yeah, you're gonna get a nice sensation around here. It's padded. It's not completely leather-like. Like you're not gonna feel like it's totally kangaroo or Taurus leather or calfskin leather, but it is pretty close. It's a nice synthetic, nice padded one. It does have like that kind of dampened effect like a knit, and you'll get better protection than these two over here if somebody like steps on your gear. And then for the last one, this is probably the most padded, and also with that it becomes the most heavy. This is the Ace 16 Plus Techers by Adidas. This one, it pretty much is a synthetic with a lot of rubber on there. As you guys can see, all those black parts around the green, that's padded with rubber. Not towards the back, but like I said, through the midfoot and through the toe box, that's all padded. So if someone steps on you, you're not going to feel it with like a synthetic like this. These are all pretty much the differences between a synthetic and a knit shoe and a leather shoe. And if you guys have like any questions on this, just leave them down below. But these are all my personal experiences. If you guys like this video, leave a like. And if you have any questions, just leave them down below. But yeah, I thought I'd just like give you guys a quick rundown on my thoughts on knit, leather, and synthetic boots. And hopefully it will narrow down your decision when it comes to like purchasing any kind of these. But yeah guys, thanks a lot for watching, and check y'all out next time.